Hare Krishna, we'll start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudírayate Nastaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Chaitanyameshwaram Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurum militamena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Desha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome all for Bhagavatam study. So yesterday you studied a very important sloka. It's talking about Atma Rama. So we'll try to read that again. Anyway, I don't have much preparation on this, but the same verse is discussed in detail in Chaitanya Charitamrita. We'll see today. I required tomorrow also. We'll try to cover this. Yeah, one way is good to understand this because this is the some of the basics, the philosophy given here. So I'll just read this one. Sutavacha Atmaramascha Munayo Nirghanta api urukrame kurvanti ahitukim bhaktim itham bhuta guna harihi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All different varieties of Atmaramas, those who take pleasure in Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kind of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality Godhead. This means that Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. So the background is that the question asked, Sukadeva Goswami is an already liberated personality. He is not an ordinary person. And on top of it, he is son of Vyasadeva, who is literally incarnation of Supreme Lord. Then what was the need for him to study Bhagavatam? So it's like somebody has done a PhD, he is going and reading again. Is it required? So that's the question asked. So answer given is that all different varieties of Atmaramas. So there are different levels of Atmaramas. Those Atmarama means those who take pleasure in self, the Atma. So we call it self-realized person. Self-realized means one person who realized himself. That means I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. And that just not the knowledge, completely realized. This is the important point because knowledge all of us has. But how much we realized, that's important. So who takes complete pleasure in Atma is that Atmarama. And those in the path of self-realization, those freed from all kind of material bondage, they have no inclination for any material bondage. And their only the services unalloyed devotional service to Supreme Personality Godhead. There is nothing else. They have no other work, no other thinking, no other feeling, no other willing. They're completely talking about and service to Supreme Personality Godhead and the pure devotional service without any expectations, without any tinge of desire for any sense gratification. That is the personality called, later Prabhupada explains them as a Paramhamsas, who are completely surrendered, who are completely taken up devotional service. And this means that Lord possesses. So such people also got attracted by Supreme Lord. So question is that even such people get attracted. So Lord is not meant for ordinary people only. Yes, Lord is meant for everybody. But even for those people who are completely surrendered, who has completely renounced, who has no material attachment, for them also Lord is get attracted. Lord is so attractive. So in that Prabhupada, in the purport talks about, there was a discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatana Goswami. So anyone of you know who Sanatana Goswami? It's been explained yesterday in discussion happened. Somebody want to unmute and talk? Who is Sanatana Goswami?
Son of Vyasadeva, Prabhuji.
No, I'm talking Sanatana Goswami. That is Sukadeva Goswami.
Oh.
It's been discussed yesterday? No?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Amataji.
He's the brother of the Rup Goswami, means they are the disciple of Mahaprabhu.
Okay. Okay, good. So they are the first six disciples called Shad Goswamis: Rupa, Sanatana, Raghunath Das, Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Jiva Goswami. Rupa, Sanatana brothers, and Jiva Goswami is son of the other brother because who was married. Rupa and Sanatana did not marry. The another brother who was married, their son is Jiva Goswami, who was also become sages later. So Gopala Bhatta, who come from Sri Rangam, Raghunath Das, the famous Panihatti festival, and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. So these are six Goswamis under this Sanatana Goswami. There was a discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatana Goswami. In that discussion, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about who is Atmaram. So what is the different aspects of Atmaram? He explains that. In that, Prabhupada explains Atmarama Sloka means the Atmaram, Munaya, Nirghanta, Api, Cha, Urukrama, Kuruvanti, Ahetukim, Bhaktim, Ittam Bhuta Gunaha, and Harihi. So these are the 11 aspects in the Atmaram. This same thing we can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, very, very detailed. Prabhupada has explained that. So maybe time permits, we can discuss tomorrow, possible. And Prabhupada also explains that in Vishwa Prakash dictionary, the Atmarama, different meanings are given. Like he says, Brahman, the absolute truth, the body, mind, endeavor, and endurance, intelligence, and personal habits. So sometimes we see Sanskrit words are that different synonyms can be given for the same word in a different time, place, circumstances. Sometimes Atma is called soul. Sometimes Atma called for Lord also. Sometimes Atma is for body also. So place, time, place, circumstances, the words are used. So that's why Prabhupada gives synonyms. And word Munayo refers to those who are thoughtful. Muni, we normally say, Narada Muni, the Angira Muni. They are Muni, they are always thoughtful. Generally said that two Munis cannot go hand in hand because their philosophy, their thought process will be different. So there will be argument, there will be discussion. So that's why they are always thoughtful, Muni. And those who are grave or silent. So silent means that not that they'll keep quiet, they speak about the Lord. They are grave, they don't joke, they speak to the point, and they're very, very grave. And they are ascetics, they perform all kind of austerities. They are persistent and they're mendicants. They don't any householders, they just beg and they survive. They are sages and they are saints. So these are the different, the Munayo word. And also says word Nirghanta. Nirghanta means one who is liberated from the nescience. What is nescience? Nescience is a material word. So one who liberated or one who transcended from the material world. One who has gone beyond this material world. So the material world is under three modes of nature: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. One who is transcended, one who has gone beyond this three modes is called the liberated person, or who has completely given up this material attachment and completely taken up spiritual attachment to Supreme Lord. Is completely liberated. or one who has no connection with the scriptural injection, that is, which is freed from obligation of rules and regulations. So here they're talking about, for such people, rules and regulation doesn't apply because they are beyond the rules and regulations. Avadhuta, like our Nityananda Mahaprabhu, he was Avadhuta. He is not bothered. He is beyond. Similarly, our Sukadeva Goswami, when he was walking after he appeared, I mean, at the age of 16, Vyasadeva was calling out, "My dear son, where are you going? Please wait." But he just walked. Of course, later his disciples started singing Bhagavatam. He came back and heard Bhagavatam. But after that, he was walking naked. No, the walking in the villages, streets. Sometimes the children used to throw stones at him. They make fun of him because he was behaving like a mad, because he was beyond this modely concept. He was totally completely beyond this material world. So he was no worried about his scriptural injunctions or rules and regulations. He is not bothered of taking bath. He is not bothered of eating in time, nothing. So that is, but at the same time, we should not misunderstand this. We should follow the rules and regulations because we are sadhakas. For sadhaka, sadhana is important. With the sadhana, through sadhana only, we can get the sadhya. Our sadhana, our chanting the early morning, 16 rounds minimum, or reading Bhagavatam, attending Mangalarati, and cooking and offering bhoga to the Lord, and distributing prasadam, distributing Bhagavad Gita. These are sadhanas. We have to do a sadhana. And we have to do certain rules and regulations. It's not that, we can do whatever my whims and fancies. So we are controlled by the kind of rules and regulations. But such people, they are beyond that. They don't worry, they don't bother. So we cannot imitate them. We should just follow their footstep possible. So then says, yeah. So philosophy, psychology, metaphysics, etc., they are not bothered. So sometimes they're like fools, they're illiterate Urchins, or who have no connection with the regulatory principles. A capitalist also one who's penniless. So they may be very rich or they may be very poor, but they're not bothered about the material attachment. There are quite a lot of examples. Pundarika Vidyanadi is another example. When Mukunda and Gadadhar went to meet, Mukunda gave a lot of introduction about Pundarika Vidyanadi. But Gadadhar Pandit, seeing the Pundarika Vidyanadi, he felt, what is this? Because Pundarika Vidyanadi was so opulently dressed, and golden ring, and two people are fanning him and chewing the pan and sitting on a big conch, such an opulent place. So seeing this, Gadadhar Pandit felt, what is this? He's a sage? He's a saint? Why he is so opulent? Because normally saint means should be poor or materially poor. So seeing this, Mukunda understood. So he started singing Bhagavatam. When he started singing Bhagavatam, completely the mood of Pundarika Vidyanidhi changed. He threw out all this opulent dress. He started rolling on the ground saying Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So he's completely, showed his real identity of a pure devotee. So for the pure devotee, the assets or wealth has no meaning. Whether he is poor or rich, he doesn't take it seriously. For both are same. Prabhupada further talks about Urukrama. Urukrama means one whose activities are glorious. The krama means the step, or Urukrama. So sometimes people say, Ugra karma also say that. Ugra karma is something do, very heavy work. But Urukrama means whose activities are glorious. Of course, Krishna's activities are glorious. Here, Prabhupada talks about Vamanadev, who put when Bali Maharaj promised him that I'll give land for 3 steps. So how Vamanadev, with one step, he covered whole the planetary system. And second step, he's covered all the spiritual world. Now he asked, where do I keep the third step? Finished everything. So Bali Maharaj says, you can keep on my head. So that's why he was sent to Patal. Of course, the Patal Supreme Lord himself becomes a gatekeeper. That's the but his activities are glorious. So also Prabhupada says is all pervading features and everywhere present Supreme Truth. So Supreme Personality got everywhere. And also Prabhupada says Kurvanti means to think someone else. Do things to do for someone else. Therefore, it means Atmara must render devotional service unto the Lord, not for personal interest, but for the pleasure of the Lord. So this is a Urukrama. And Urukrama Kurvanti. Now, point we should understand that we do devotional service for whom? Is for my satisfaction or Supreme Lord satisfaction. We do devotional service many times for my satisfactions or my sense gratifications or my benefit. I always think, what do I get? What do I do? But these Atmaramas, they don't do it anything for themselves. They do it for the pleasure of the Lord and for the welfare of the society. Whatever they do is for the, now if you see the sages asking these questions, they're not asking for their benefit because they know all the answer. But they're asking for the welfare of us because they know Bhagavatam will be given and the future generation will be given the answer. So that is the their activities are. The further talks about hetu means causal. There are many causes for one's sense satisfactions. Prabhupada explains here. And further, Prabhupada talks about from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, 15th chapter, the detailed explanation, liberations given, different types of liberations, Sahajya Mukti and Sarupya Mukti, etc. So, and therefore, unalloyed devotional means to the Lord without desire for above mentioned personal benefits. Anyahabhilashita shunya, jnana karma dhyanavritam, anukulena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttamam. So, without any tinge of desire for sense gratification, that's unalloyed devotion. Now, again, as a sadhaka, as a practicing devotees, my aspirations, my kind of desire to get this kind of a level. So again, not imitate, practice and sincerely desire, sincerely prayer. Many times with my effort is not possible. I need definitely the blessings of other seniors and blessings of the Supreme Lord. So I should always sincerely pray to the Lord, please allow me to serve you as much as possible and without any tinge of kama, krodha, mada, matsara, lobha, without harming anyone, without insulting anyone. Let me serve you. And that is a mood in which I should pray. When I pray that and I have blessings of other devotees, yes, I maybe get unalloyed devotion. That is a topmost prema. So Prabhupada further talks about attachment for inactive devotee develops up the stage of love of God. Attachment for active servitor develops up to the stage of adherence, and for friendly devotee develops up to the stage of following, the same as the case of paternal devotees. So there are different levels. Prabhupada also talks about Hari Bhakti Subodhaya, the import of word Itham Budham, the complete bliss. So it's not just the happiness. There is happiness, bliss. Bliss is much, much beyond happiness. It's maybe thousand times more than happiness, but is completely bliss, total bliss. So that is the real happiness when you get devotional service. So that's why bhakti is such a great thing. It can give happiness. And such people can cross over this material world. They can get liberated as easy or as simple as the person crossing the hoof of a cow's, or calf. The calf's, the foot, such a small. And if there is water in that, how easy or difficult for us to cross? Very easy. So when we reach that level, we can easily cross this material world that easily. So that is a point. That's why Krishna also saying, Sarva Dharma Parityajya, Mameka Sharanam Raja, Aham ta Sarva Papebhyo Mokshaya Samasuchaha. So he says that you just surrender to me, I will guarantee you. I will take out all your sins. I will give you my abode. So that is what the Prabhupada talking about here. Then there are different rasas talking about here. And finally, talks about the 4 Kumaras, the Brahma sons, Sanata, Sanatana, Sananda, and Sanat Kumaras. who are attracted fragments. So these four Kumaras also kind of impersonal, we know the story of Jaya Vijay, or later they become Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Shishupala, and Dantavakra, different yugas, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga. And these Kumaras went to Vaikuntha. They crossed all the 6 gates. At the 7th gate, they were stopped by Jaya Vijaya. They get angry. How can, how is this two people can stop us? Because actually, they never grow. They are always small, because as soon as they appear, Brahmaji wanted them to create further progeny, get married and create progeny. But they said, no, we don't want to get into the family affairs. That's more difficult in the attachment. We want to be sannyasi. And for that, they said, we'll never grow, because if we grow, then no, we'll get married, we'll be child only. So they when reached the 7th gate, the Jaya Vijaya stopped them. So that's where the whole Leela happened. So these the 4 Kumaras, they cursed Jaya Vijaya to take birth in the material world. So there comes Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu actually asks for forgiveness from the 4 Kumaras, saying that my servants actually did a mistake, because there's again Leela behind it. So Jaya Vijaya wanted to give the Veera Rasa to the Supreme Lord. That's why the Jaya Vijaya given a Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So both fought with the Lord. Hiranyakashipu, fought with the Narasimhadev. Hiranyaksha fought with the Kurmadev, like in the form of hog, pig. So this is how story goes. Here also, because they were impersonalists, but when they went there, when Supreme Lord appeared, the Tulasi, which was the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, but just because the smell of that, they immediately transformed into the great pure devotees of that. So again, for us, the purity of our consciousness can change with the prasada, or whatever offered to the Lord when we take it. The prasada means not just eating food. Prasadam is garland, also prasadam. What is offered to Krishna is prasadam, or anything offered to Krishna with love and affection is prasada. So when we take that, it becomes a prasad, and we can sanctify our life. Prabhupada further talks about Hari, conveys various means, but chief of that Hari is the Lord. Hari also means one who steals. So when we take a devotional service, he steals our heart, and he gives a love of God. Also, sometimes he'll steal our material attachment. He will steal our material possessions, so that we can become pure devotees. So this is called Hari. Hari is supreme. That's why many times people don't, get into Krishna consciousness, because as soon as some Krishna consciousness, sometimes they feel that we become poor. Actually, it's not a fact. We become rich, because Krishna is a supremely rich. He is, Bhoktara Tapasa Sarvaloka Maheshwara. He is Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Jnatum Shanti Rachad. He says Bhoktara is Sarvaloka Maheshwara. He is, Sarvaswa. He is the kind of owner of the Sahasra Lakshmis. So when we become his devotees, when we become his son, we should be very happy, because we are the richest. But we generally call, the olden days, once upon a time, there was a poor Brahmana. The devotees are always called poor, because they don't keep anything in their hand. Doesn't mean that they're poor. They're extremely rich, because the Supreme Lord's mercy on them. So they are always rich, but because they don't keep anything on that hand, they generally called poor. Because Hari is said that he may sometimes take out the material contamination from our heart and give us a pure bhakti. Finally, Prabhupada talks about his personal features. Krishna is a person, is not imperson, and he has got a form. So that's the point Prabhupada talks about here. We'll read one more sloka just for today. And if any doubt on this Atmaram, maybe tomorrow we can discuss again. And the 11th one, somebody can read. Who's that?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Prabhuji, the shloka.
Hare Guna Apsito Matir Bhagavan Badarayiniha adayaghan mahatkshayanam nityam Vishnu jana priyaha.
Janapriya. Yeah. Translation and purport by Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Sukadev Goswami, son of Srila Vyasadeva, was not only transcendentally powerful, he was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Thus, he underwent the study of this great narration, Sri Bhagavatam. Purport. According to Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Srila Sukadev Goswami was a liberated soul, even within the womb of his mother. Srila Vyasadeva knew that the child after his birth would not stay at home. Therefore, Vyasadeva impressed upon him the synopsis of the Bhagavatam so that the child would be made attached to the transcendental activities of the Lord. After his birth, the child was still more educated in the subject of the Bhagavatam by recitation of the actual poems. The idea is that generally the liberated souls are attached to the feature of impersonal Brahman with a monistic view of becoming one with the supreme whole. But by the association of pure devotees like Vyasadeva, even the liberated soul becomes attracted to the transcendental qualities of the Lord. By mercy of Sri Narada, Srila Vyasadeva was able to narrate the great epic of Srimad Bhagavatam. And by the mercy of Vyasadeva, Srila Sukadev Goswami was able to grasp the import. The transcendental qualities of the Lord are so attractive that Srila Sukadev Goswami became detached from being completely absorbed in impersonal Brahman and positively took up the personal activity of the Lord. Practically, he was thrown from the impersonal conception of the Absolute, thinking within himself that he had simply wasted so much time in devoting himself to the impersonal feature of the Supreme. Or in other words, he realized more transcendental bliss with the personal features than the impersonal. And from that time, not only he himself became very dear to Vishnu Jana or the devotees of the Lord, but also Vishnu Jana become very dear to him. The devotees of the Lord who do not wish to kill the individuality of the living entities and who desire to become personal servitors of the Lord do not very much like the impersonalities, and similarly the impersonality who desire to become one with the Supreme are unable to evaluate the devotees of the Lord. Thus, from time immemorial, these two transcendental pilgrims have sometimes been competitors. In other words, each of them likes to keep separate from other because of the ultimate personal and impersonal realization. Therefore, it appears that Srila Sukadev Goswami also had no liking for the devotees. But since he himself became a saturated devotee, he desired always the transcendental association of the Vishnu Jana, and the Vishnu Jana also liked his association since he became a personal Bhagavata. Thus, both the son and the father were completely cognizant of the transcendental knowledge in Brahman, and afterwards both of them become absorbed in the personal features of the Supreme Lord. The question as to how Sukadev Goswami was attracted by the narration of the Bhagavatam is thus completely answered by this shloka.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
So, Sukadeva Goswami was not an ordinary person, but initially he was kind of an in-person. Prabhupada says, referring to, Brahma Vaivarta Purana. Sukadeva Goswami was liberated soul even within the womb of his mother. So we know the story behind is that Lord Shiva was narrating to Bhagavatam to Parvati. One parrot was hearing, and Lord Shiva told Mother Parvati that you should respond when I recite Bhagavatam, saying, So, but Mother Parvati went to sleep. This parrot who was sitting on the tree was listening, and the parrot saw Mother Parvati sleeping. So, not to stop Lord Shiva to recite Bhagavatam, that parrot started responding. But later, the Lord Shiva realized that it's not Mother Parvati who was responding, the parrot is responding. He got angry. He took his Trishul and to kill this parrot. the parrots straight, start flying towards Vyasadeva's ashram, where the Vyasadeva's wife is just yawning, so just opened her mouth. So the parrot went straight into her mouth. So that's how Sukha is Sukadeva. So that's the parrot comes. So, but because he has heard Bhagavatam, even from before getting into the womb of his mother, he heard from Lord Shiva. So he is purified that itself. He is a liberated person. So that's what Prabhupada is talking about here. And the Prabhupada explains the Lord is not imperson, Lord is person. The detailed explanation Prabhupada gives here how Lord is person. And we should not get into the idea of merging into the Lord. Lord has separate identity, we have separate identity. We are always servant, he is supreme personality Godhead. That's the understanding we should keep. And we can get this only with the association of pure devotees, like how Sukadeva Goswami got the association of Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva got association of Narada Muni. So that's the hierarchy. That's why we always should accept a guru. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshantita jnanam tattu darshinaha. We should accept the spiritual master who has yavam parampara praptam, who has come in the parampara, and surrender unto him and take the lessons from him. That's why we get the mercy of the Lord. So Lord's mercy comes from Bhakta, not from directly. We cannot get direct mercy. So here personal and such the personal feature, one who loves the personal feature of Supreme Lord, they are dear to Vishnu Jana, they are devotees. So that's why the devotees and the Supreme Lord are equally good. So that's why Prabhupada says that worship of a devotee sometimes is more better than worship of the Lord, because Lord loves the worship of the devotees, pure devotees, Paramhamsas. With this, I'll stop here. Devotees can share their comments, realization, if any. Please go ahead. Go in one alphabetic order. Anyone who want to start quickly? Sumit Prabhu, want to share any points?
Yeah, Prabhu. So I joined in the last, actually I had a meeting in the office. So at the last shloka I joined. So the important point is like how Shukdev Goswami was first more interested in the impersonal Brahman. And then when he heard the recitation of Bhagavatam, by the pastime of the Lord, he got attracted to the Lord. Similar was the case with the Chaturkumaras, and they got attracted by the fragrance of the tulsi leaves and the sandalwood pulp from the lotus feet of the Lord. So Lord, what do you say, Nama Rupa Guna Leela, these attracts the devotees and they become very much attached to the Lord. So that is like it's very important point in this puppet. Yeah, Prabhu, that's all.
Yeah, maybe we'll start from other side. Varsha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the
Thank you,
class.
Mataji.
So we understood about these 11 factors today. What is Atmarama, Munaya, Nirgrantha? So Atmarama is body, mind, intelligent. You had explained us. And Urukrama and Kuruvanti. I mean, those are the devotional services for God, or I mean, the person who does the devotional service only for God and or for the well-being of the society, like these munis asking questions regarding Bhagavata that we learn, and God takes some material things from us in order to get us the knowledge of the spiritual world. And next shloka we understood about Sukadeva Goswami, how he was parrot and listening to the Bhagavatam, and he heard this Bhagavatam before entering to his mother's womb only. And yes, Prabhuji, God has separate entity, and we should accept the Guru from the Guru Parampara, all those things. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, who else? Samapti. Samapti, want to say anything?
No, Prabhu, I understood. No.
Okay. Shruti Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. I also joined late, but yes, the last shloka which you told about Sukadeva Goswami, that's what I understood, that Sukadeva Goswami was a purified soul, although he was a parrot, because he heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from Lord Shiva when he was speaking to Goddess Parvati. So, and then he entered into the mouth of Vyasadeva's wife, and thus he was born as Sukadeva Goswami. So, reading the or he listening to the Srimad Bhagavatam, it purifies and gives us the proper knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So even a animal like a parrot also, although we tell that the human birth is very precious because we get the opportunity to have devotional service to Lord, but even an animal like a parrot, when it heard this one Srimad Bhagavatam, it became a very purified soul like Shukadeva Goswami. So that it shows that Srimad Bhagavatam is so pure and so transcendental that it can even change a animal's life also into such a elevated position. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. That's what I
Hare
understood. Thank
Krishna.
you.
Ramesh Prabhu, anything you want to say?
Thank you.
Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
A very big text, both comprises of lot of details. I must read also. Atmarama, self-realized, who is completely surrendered and renounced. 11 aspects of Atmarama. In Atmarama perform their activities for happiness of Supreme Lord and welfare of the society. They don't have any selfish motive. I should approach Lord through Guru Parampara and devotees. I should not go directly to Lord. That much I have understood.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you. Murali Prabhu, want to say anything?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
We have to serve the devotees, Prabhu, because Lord likes us to serve the devotees better than Lord.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
if
Prabhu.
we are in working together
Mm.
or we are in business terms,
Mhm.
how to behave, Prabhu?
Still, we have to consider devotees as devotees only.
No, some business decisions like we cannot keep on
Why
like we have to be strict also.
we should be very careful in dealing with the devotees.
Yes, we have to be very careful. That means we have to be humble, or
Yes.
we have to be strict, Prabhu.
No offense to any devotee.
Okay.
Yeah.
It needs some practice, Prabhu. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Next, Galaxy. Who is this? Galaxy M30.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Joined very late.
Oh, Lakshmi Mataji. Yeah.
Yes. I'm Lakshmi.
Okay. Yes, Mataji.
I missed the first.
Okay.
First.
It is
what
there
to
on
say,
YouTube. If required, just made it live, so you can watch it.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nothing to say, Prabhuji.
Okay. Asha Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have to read these two shlokas again and again, I think so, because it's not that easy. But what I understood is even Atmaramas get attracted by God, the Supreme. One thing, as sadhakas, what we should do is sincere prayers and always beg the Supreme to allow me to serve Him so that it will take me maybe towards His, I can achieve my goal. And I think so I need a lot of reading again and again, which I will be doing, Prabhuji. These two shlokas, it's not that easy.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll all read again. Archana Mataji. Anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
No, today I understood, a little bit understood about that Atmarama. Atmaramans are self-realized people, and they have the complete pleasure of Atma. and they don't have any inclination towards material bondage. They have, I mean, pure devotion service. And about the second shloka, what I got is Lord loves the devotees. So we can serve the devotees to instead of going directly to the Lord.
Yes,
Hare
yes.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. So thank you all. So happy Nirjala Ekadashi last. So those who can chant more, please chant even now, possible. With this, I'll stop here. Vanchakalpatarabhyasya कृपा सिंधुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय ग्रंथराज भागवतम की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय. I'll stop the meeting. We'll see you tomorrow same time. Devotees possible read this sloka and possible next one or two sloka also. Please everybody read it. No, it's not only allocated so that we